Hello, everybody. It's Kubrick Lover 1972 again. It's been quite some time since I've been on YouTube. Um, I was in the process of moving, so that took some time, and then I got here where I live now in the middle of September. So that was part of the reason why I wasn't on YouTube for so long. And oh, I don't know, it's just dealing with things. But anyways, I'm back. I put up a few new things on YouTube recently. I put up um, a project I a project I did for a digital filmmaking class, uh, um, and that's called Dirty Dog Number One because we're supposed to make it in the project. We're supposed to say if dogs could talk. So I chose the dogs could sing for me, and I chose Easy Top's Dirty Dog. And I changed the pitch of the voices of my iPhone. I used GarageBand on my iPhone, and I changed the pitch, and then because they go faster in the higher pitch and slower in the lower pitch, I um, changed the tempo of them. I played it with a microphone on my GarageBand, and then I slowed the tempo and speeded up the tempo based on the pitch of the voice. So that's what I did on that. I also, I want to make movies, so I wrote a treatment, which is like a short summary of a film, and I wanted to storyboard it. So what I did was I went on Google and I chose photos that corresponded to. Sorry about moving my head like this. It's kind of hard to figure out how to move my head on this, but I took photos and put sound effects and music and voiceover narration to show how it would look if I made it. And I don't know, it's got a car chase in it, so it's kind of not easy to make maybe, but there are some solutions. I'm thinking like you could shoot from a low angle, have leaf blowers blowing against the hair of the people in the car, and you could have cars speed by, so you would think that the car's in motion, but it's not like tricks like that. So, but I'm what I want to get to here, as it says in the title, is my entire DVD and Blu-ray collection. Dean, a DVD. I've been watching your videos. I haven't watched the last few. I just haven't put in the time to watch them yet. But I've noticed what you've been showing. So, anyways, I'll show some of my stuff. I know it's going to overlap with some other people on YouTube, that have, DVDs and Blu-rays. And my apologies in advance. In fact, what I did for this video was I decided not to put my Kurosawa collection in here because you can see that you can see that on my previous videos, which is close to the start when I started out. You can see my whole Kurosawa collection there. Actually, you know what? I think there's one or more. Well, at least one video I think that I showed on my Kurosawa collection that I now have on Blu-ray. I think it's the dual format. It's a Criterion, because before that I had it on VHS. And anyways, so let's get to this collection here. So let's get, okay, so the first one up, we're going to do some Ozu, because I like Ozu. And so the first one is, oops, sorry about the lighting here. It's Silent Ozu. And there are three movies here: Walk Cheerfully, That Knight's Wife, and Dragnet Girl. And if you know about Ozu, I only watched part of one of these, which was, I think it was Walk Cheerfully, because I was trying to watch them in order. But if you know Ozu, he makes these films that are like set in the present day, being the present day at the time when he was alive, which was the 50s and 60s, and they're these present day dramas, you know, about family and ordinary life. And this is sort of not what you'd expect from Ozu, but anyways, here's the first one, Walk Cheerfully. And That Night's Wife. And Dragnet Girl. And these are Eclipse movies. They're from, as you probably a lot of you know, Criterion Collection. Really don't know much about these, what the plots are, except like Walk Cheerfully, which I watched a little of. I think he has like a bit of thievery in that one, so I'm looking forward to watching those. Of course, I got tons of movies to watch. What I'm thinking of doing right now is watching horror movies, because this is Halloween, and I've seen some video titles on YouTube from people I subscribe to that are listing horror movies, and I don't know, maybe I haven't watched any of them, but I'm getting the impression that people are watching horror movies right now and trying to, share their thoughts on films that are in the horror genre. And I went to, what do you call it? I think it's called Horror Fest in where I live, and George Romero was there, and he signed my Dawn of the Dead. But I think there'll be quite some time till we get to that part of the collection, because I have bookcases where I'm storing my Blu-rays and DVDs, and a few DVD towers. But there's four boxes that I have yet to unload and put into some kind of containers like towers or bookcases. So that's on my agenda, and I'd like to buy a few more Criterions. So, but anyways, next Ozu is, and these I have. This I have watched. The lighting is terrible in here. Maybe I should go somewhere else. I don't know. I think it's the sunlight that's getting in the way. But this is two Ozus. One's from 36 and the other one's from 42. The first one is The Only Son. Not a bad movie. Oh, that's so mother and son relationship. I can't remember it awfully well, but I thought it was a pretty good movie, you know. It's first talkie, by the way. And, you know, you can't go wrong. This one's There Was a Father. This one, I believe, has some Japanese propaganda elements to it because it was made during World War II. So, though primarily a delicately wrought story of parental love, There Was a Father offers themes of sacrifice that were deemed appropriately patriotic by Japanese censors at the time of its release during World War II, making it a uniquely political film in Ozu's body of work. So this is not typical Ozu, but this is what the time allowed, Says that There Was a Father. Okay, so now we get to a film, and I'm going to be overlapping with, other YouTube users. This light is not getting good. Hang on a sec. I'm going to change the lighting. Okay, I'm back again. I moved to a different section of my apartment because that was terrible lighting. So let's get back Ozu again, and we got Tokyo Story, which is a really good movie. Like I said, these are going to overlap, and you can see that with like I know Dina DVD, for example, has this. I think he has a more updated version than I do. This is probably the older edition because you can see the older Criterion label there. And I don't know if I should say too much about this because probably people said enough about it. Like it's about two elderly adult parents with their adult children and how they're not connecting, that no one wants anything to do with them except for their daughter-in-law, so it's a very good movie. So check that out when you have a chance. Next up is Early Summer. And these Ozu films I haven't watched in quite some time, but it's family life, and I think it's a generational thing, as you can see there. So if I can remember things about these films, I'll definitely say something. But that one I started drawing a blank on, and I think this has been shown on a lot of people's YouTube channels. But Late Spring, and that's with Setsuko Hara, who died, I don't know, a few months ago, more than a few months ago, I believe. It's a very good movie. It's about a father played by Chishu Roy. I don't know how to pronounce his name exactly. He was a big, I think maybe Setsuko Hara was a big name in Ozu's films as well. But she was a huge Japanese actress, one of the most famous. And Chishu Roy was in a lot of Ozu's movies, and I think he wasn't regarded as a great actor. Like Ozu would have to do like 60 takes just to get the right shot, just to get the right performance out of him because he wasn't a natural actor. But he plays a father in this film, Late Spring, and so he's getting on in age, and she's taking care of him, and he wants her to marry. So that's the plot of the movie. Next up, Autumn Afternoon. I can't remember this movie that much either because I think it takes place, let's see, as his final movie. Chishu Roy's in it. He's been living comfortably for years with his grown daughter. A series of events leads him to accept and encourage her marriage and departure. As elegantly composed and achingly tender as any of the Japanese masters' films, Autumn Afternoon is one of cinema's fondest farewells. And you got, good things here. Audio commentary from scholar David Bordwell. You got excerpts from Yasujiro Ozu and the Taste of Sake documentary featuring critics Michel Simont and Georges Perec. So it's got an essay by Donald Ritchie, who was a big he was a big expert on Japanese movies. Then I think this does it for Ozu. Late Ozu. So one of the common elements you can see in an Ozu film in his latter years, maybe I think all of his color films or most of his color films, is he'll have a tea kettle in one of the shots as like one of his trademarks, one of his signatures. And he has these things called pillow shots where he will shoot for a second, or like 5 or 10 seconds maybe, and like the scene will take place in a room, and he'll take a shot outside the room, and that's called a pillow shot. I'll never forget the reasoning why it's called a pillow shot, but that's a pillow shot. Tokyo Twilight. Oops, it just fell off my desk there. Late autumn. End of summer. Early spring. And equinox flower. And equinox flower, I think. Old-fashioned father's newfangled daughter, like a generational shaft there. Let's see. So there's that, and that's all the Ozu I have. So now we get to some other directors in the Japanese conglomeration or whatever. You know, I think I have more Seijin Suzuki's films. That we're going to sort of like, when I was putting my DVDs and Blu-rays in the new place, I did separate them somewhat. Like I put Japanese films all together, Italian films all together, German films all together, French films all together. But, you know, and I tried to put the directors all together, but a little bits here and there. And then I just had to go with it because, you know, if I kept meddling around with it, I think it would just take me too long to get my collection up. So, I mean, like one of the things I would like to do is I am showing my Criterions and Eclipse sets, but I'm not showing them separate from the rest of my collection. I'm sort of mixing them with the rest of the DVDs and Blu-rays that I own. So I'm sorry for that, but you know, this is the best I can figure out on this. So, anyways, let's get back to it. Seijin Suzuki's Branded to Kill. And, you know, this is I think there's a later edition of this. Nice photo there. Sorry that I've been showing the photos. I guess I think people have shown a lot of the Ozu stuff, you know, inside the booklets and all that kind of stuff. They've shown them. So, yeah. Anyways, and then let me get to this one here, which is a box set, Criterion. It's 3 films by Hiroshi Teshigahara. Pitfall, Woman in the Dunes, Face of Another. Really good movies. Probably the most well-known of these is Woman in the Dunes. But they're all great movies. They're very avant-garde, artsy type movies. Let's see. Comes with a nice booklet. Let's see. So, you know, a lot of nice pictures there. So we get to the first one, which is Pitfall, which is, I don't know if I should give away any of these things, but this is a neat kind of plot to it. You know, what happens to the main character and his son. Some kind of problem comes upon them, and they find themselves in a situation they didn't expect. I think the son gets in the same situation as the father. Then there's Women in the Dunes, probably his most famous. Which is about a man who's a entomologist, I think, a bug scientist, and he gets marooned in the desert, and he he needs to stay someplace because the bus is left for the day. So he stays at this woman's house that's in a sand pit, and he can't get out of it. And there's probably some symbolism and all that kind of stuff going on about it. But that's basically the plot. And then you have Face of Another. So this is a man that lost his real face, and they're trying to put another one back on. And there's more to it than that, but here's Hiroshi Teshigahara himself. Oh, and the guy in Face of Another is Tatsuya Nakadai, who you know from films like Ron as Lord Hidetori East Jumanji. He was in Yojimbo. That I don't know if Yojimbo was one of his earliest. Well, must have been one of his earliest roles. He's the guy with the gun in Yojimbo, and he's been in some other movies too. I think some more Kurosawa and other directors. He's a pretty well-known actor in Japan. So you got that. So that's it for Hiroshi Teshigahara. Now we get on to Oshima. Okay, so got a little dirt on this. I don't like that, but anyways, Oshima's Outlaw 60s. So we got Pleasures of the Flesh. Corrupt businessman blackmails the lovelorn reprobate at sushi into watching over a suitcase full of embezzled cash while he serves a jail sentence. Rather than wait for the man to retrieve his money, however, Atsushi decides to spend it all in one libidinous rush. Fully expecting to be tracked down and killed, Nagisa Oshima's dip into the waters of the popular softcore pink film genre is a compelling journey into excess. And I recall enjoying this movie a lot. Violence at Noon. These are clips, by the way. Sing a Song of Sex. Japanese Summer. Double Suicide. And Three Resurrected Drunkards. And Oshima was a very political filmmaker, and he tackles on the subject of immigration in here. A trio of bumbling young men frolic at the beach. While they swim, their clothes are stolen and are replaced with new outfits. Donning these, they are mistaken for undocumented Koreans and end up on the run from comically outraged authorities. A cutting commentary on Japan's treatment of its Korean immigrants. This is Nagisa Oshima at both his most politically engaged and madcap. So I think I recall not liking that one the most out of all of these. Thought it was kind of silly, I think they were singing some kind of song or something. I just didn't like it that much. Next up, probably his most famous, In the Realm of the Senses, which is sort of like a hardcore pornography film. It won the Palm Dorky, and I'm pretty sure it won the Palm d'Or. Pretty sure it's banned in its own country, So, and that's kind of weird because Japan has very lax laws on, sex and violence, sort of in their films. I think there's some pictures in there, maybe not. Yeah. Well, there's some pictures here. This is a very good movie. It's got some pretty explicit sex, but it's a legitimate movie as well, so. And then I have another one of his called Empire of Passion. And Dean at the DVD showed this, so I'm not going to get into the details. And then the last one I have of his I just bought recently, like maybe last Criterion sale. Oh, and I also have to mention the Criterion sale. I was going to show them, but I was in the process of, looking for a place to live. It was just too hectic. So you're going to see all those things I bought, but it's just going to be mixed in with the rest of my stuff. And this is one of them. So Death by Hanging by Oshima. This is a Blu-ray. Has this nice photo here. Like you say, Dean, I just hate these pamphlets. I guess they're sort of okay, but it's really better to, it's better to have a booklet. It's just better treatment of the, movie. It makes it more appreciated, I think. I don't know, whatever. Okay, so now next up, I'm not sure if I showed this or not. I can't remember. Lady Snowblood. Really good movie. And in fact, if you listen to the music, it's played in Kill Bill, the starting music during the credits. It's just a fun, enjoyable movie. It's set during the Meiji era after the Shogun lost power in Japan. And she's born in a prison, and she's like, I guess she gets vengeance for her mother or whatever. The second film in the series, Lady Snowblood Love Song of Vengeance, is it's okay, but it's not that fantastic. I guess they just made it because, riding on the success of the first one. And there's by the way, there's a movie streaming service on the internet called Mubi, M-U-B-I, and they charge you for the first month. It's free. The second month it's like $6 and something cents, and they have 30 films a day, and they get rid of one film each day and add another one. And I think some of them are not too bad, like what's the one I watched last night? Although that one I watched last night was Chinese. I can't remember the director, but he directed The Blue Kite, I highly recommend The Blue Kite because it shows what happened when communist China came into power and how it affected people's families, so. Okay, so next up we got Naruse, When a Woman Ascends the Stairs. I can't remember if this one I had a long time ago, I guess. Oops. She's a main character is she's like a madam or whatever. I can't remember it's prostitution she's ahead of. She runs like a bar, but she's trying to rise above everything, and the way she's being treated in that kind of society, men sort of have legitimacy over women, and so it's just not good for her, her succeeding in society, trying to, make a step up financially, successfully, socially. It's not easy for her. I think it's a pretty good movie. I don't think that really describes what I was saying. It just, but she's a woman who runs like a bar and brothel. I guess it's a brothel, and but she's trying to move ahead. You know, like move her status up, and she's just, that's why it's called when a woman ascends the stairs. She's just she's having a hard time surviving. You know, I think that's what it's about. I haven't watched it in a while. And then for Naruse, we have Silent Naruse. I haven't watched any of these. You know what? I probably should, next time I'm on here, have a glass of water so I can clear my throat. Flunky Work Hard. I have no idea what these films are about. Two of them, Apart From You, Every Night Dreams. And last one, Street Without End. You know what? If I watch these, I'll give you a report about like what I think. Oh wait, no blood relation below there. So there's a total of 5 films, 2 of them on one disc. Two on one disc, 2 on another disc, and 1 on another disc. Total of 5. So I'm going to stop it right here because I'm at 21 minutes, and I want to make sure this gets onto YouTube. So thanks for watching. See you later. I'll be back with more.